Let's, I lift you up. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. I see you well. You know this song? To my Costello, and you are the fruit to my loom. Red Solo Cup, you're more than just plastic. You're more than amazing. You're more than fantastic. And believe me that I'm not the least bit sarcastic when I look at you and say, Red Solo Cup, you're not just a cup. You're not just a cup. No. You're my friend. Lifelong friend. For being my friend. Solo Cup. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. Solo Cup. I lift you up. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. Gets me choked up. Yeah. All right, everybody. This is episode 34. Excuse me, I've got my COVID shot, got my flu shot. I'm not screwing me up, but I'll try to bear with it as I can. This is episode 34. Super Bowl week and the web that Taylor Swift has weaved at the Grammys. So if you like what you see and you like what you hear, please click the subscribe button on the bottom right-hand corner. We'll get to the singer of that song. It's been a tough week for a couple people that passed away. Well, we'll get to that. So real quick, I want to talk about this. The five, excuse me. My new Super Bowl boxes that I filled are done. Numbers have been chosen, given out, and emailed out. There, I got 2 sets of 5s, 10s, and 20s done in 6 weeks. And for upcoming pools, email me at chazroyalty@gmail.com. I am going to be doing a NCAA college bracket. Probably not doing baseball, but who knows? Maybe I'll do a prop bet. Excuse me. This is going to be a rough one. I can see it already. Oh, wow. I'm not good. So let me get to my Google. Here we go. Breaking news. All right, that's my breaking news. Yes, there we go. Jose Altuve and the Houston Astros are in an agreement to a 5-year, $125 million contract extension per ESPN's Jeff Passan. I guess I have no words because good for him. He got a new agreement. I don't be hesitant to get a new agreement, but obviously not a fan of Mr. Altuve, Mr. Cheater. That's fine. But yep, excuse me. So that's the breaking news that just came down about an hour ago. So what went down at the Grammys on Sunday? Where to begin? Well, we'll have to begin here. And it's not popular in my house, but I am going to talk about it. Taylor Swift and Celine Dion's backstage moment shuts down fan outrage from what happened after Swift received the album of the year from Celine Dion. Now, if you didn't see this, Celine comes up, she's walked up. You can tell she looks frail. Makes the announcement of who wins. Long story short, obviously, Taylor wins for Album of the Year, her 4th time ever. Big congratulations for that. She's now, I actually wrote this down. She's the first female artist to win 3 times. So now she's actually beaten men like Frank Sinatra, Paul Simon, and Stevie Wonder, who have 3 albums of the year. That's pretty good. So like I said, Celine Dion presented the album of the year to Taylor Swift for Midnights. Now, she was so stunned by it. Apparently, she completely missed even, let's say, hugging softly Celine Dion or acknowledging her like other people acknowledged other presenters that night. Miley, she talked about somebody and somebody else. You got to be humble. I mean, most of the time you hear that she is, but for whatever reason, she didn't do it. Now, she supposedly apologized. There's a picture. Excuse me. Wow, this is going to be rough. So, she apologized, and great that she apologized, but I'm not. Excuse me. Anyway, all right. So it's not a big deal as it was. She did apologize, but there was a little bit of outrage at the time, and I think she was told that she had to be told that. But all right, one other thing I want to talk about before I want to do a little bit of a rundown. So Miley Cyrus called out audience members during Grammy performance. Quote, "Why are y'all acting like y'all don't know this song?" She shouted before continuing with her performance. If I'm correct, she was like the third or fourth performance, and everybody was getting up for the other performances, especially Dua Lipa's first one. So she got a little upset. It is what it is, but I mean, honestly, her performance was one of the better ones. I like that song "Flowers." It was a really good performance. And now to run down a little bit. So Trevor Noah hosted. Dua Lipa performed first. Some of her songs. Mariah Carey gave up the pop solo to Miley, and Miley did thank Mariah in her speech. Aguilera and Maluma gave the Best Third Band award to Karol G for her song. SZA performed pretty good, I gotta say. Billie Eilish performed her Barbie Smash. What was I made for? Pretty good. Okay. Miley did her performance of Flowers. Casey Musgraves gave Best Country Album to Lainey Wilson for Bell Bottom Country. Lizzo presented Best R&B to SZA for Snooze. Olivia Rodrigo performed Vampire. Not a fan of that song. U2 performed at the Sphere. That looked really cool. 4D, everything. I like it. I think that was cool. You know, my significant other not so much, but that's fine. U2 presented the Pop Vocal Album of the Year. Excuse me a second since I don't know who's watching. My chair keeps going down. There we go. All right, so then they did an in memoriam, and it was a pretty long one. Stevie Wonder honored Tony Bennett singing For Once in My Life, and a duet with Tony Bennett that he had done a few years back. Annie Lennox comes up to start singing Nothing Compares to You, because obviously Sinead O'Connor passed away this year. And then Lenny Kravitz talks about Clarence Avant, godfather of black music. And then John Baptiste performed Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone and Lean on Me. Like I said, that was in memoriam. That was a lot. Oprah comes out, talks about Tina Turner and Fantasia Barrano. I think you probably know her from American Idol. And Adam Blackstone, whoever that is, performs Tina Turner Classics Proud Mary. Jay-Z receives the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. And Jay-Z got a little too, people are calling it Kanye. but it wasn't really Kanye because he didn't interrupt. But what he did do was call out the Academy for not basically not giving his wife Beyonce more possibilities for album of the year for her. She had Lemonade and other ones like that. That in those times she probably wasn't the best, but Jay Z had to get his 2 cents in. Lionel Richie presents Song of the Year goes to Billie Eilish. What Was I Made For? From Barbie. Interesting performance. Brandy Carlisle introduced Joni Mitchell and then performed, and then with her, with a lot of other people. And then she won for Best Folk Song. I didn't know she was still singing, go figure. Travis Scott performed. We all know Travis Scott as one of the, not Kardashian, but Jenner girls, man, if I'm correct. Although it might be the baby daddy because I don't think that they're together anymore. Burna Boy performs with Brandy, 21 Savage, and Afrobeats. Whatever song they did. Samara Ray presented Bethany Waters to Victoria Monet. Very cool. She sounds pretty good. Meryl Streep and Mark Ronson present Record of the Year. Now, for people that didn't know or weren't watching, Meryl Streep is the mother-in-law to Mark Ronson, who did song with what else his name? I can't think of his name. Excuse me. Billy Joel performed too, and here's my opinion on this real quick. His original song that he wrote, his performance wasn't great. His last song that he did, a couple of his old songs, sounded much better. I don't know if it's just maybe the song didn't sound good on stage. I wasn't feeling it as a Billy Joel fan. And that's me. And then I guess his last thing was Celine Dion presenting. So that was pretty much it of the Grammys. It was pretty good. Trevor Noah did really good, I thought. All right. Let's talk about what everybody wants to talk about. Super Bowl 58, Monday, Media Day. What was said? Let's see if I can play this and see if it works. No, Taylor Swift for her subway. This is Brock Purdy. Patrick Mahomes. Here's Travis talking about it. Yeah. He's gonna come up with some underwear. That's funny. Yeah. Oh no, Kansas City. That's Pacheco. That's perfect. You really think he's retiring this year? I don't think Kelsey respects. I'm gonna pause that. Let's see what this girl does. Let's mute that. There we go. Skip. Oops. We'll pause that. All right. So something happened on Sunday that I do want to talk about. So New York, New Jersey will be hosting 8 games, including the final of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now, what aggravates me, and the host cities that they're in. Okay. So I'll start with what aggravated me. On Sunday, and I'm not the only one, there was more than a few of my bowling friends that were asking questions about this. Fox was going to have on the U.S. Open for the PBA. They were slated to be on at 3:30. Well, 3:30 came and went, and this thing for FIFA 2026 was on with Kevin Hart and a bunch of other people. So apparently Kevin Hart likes soccer. And that's what aggravated me, because it didn't know that there was a time change. And it wasn't until about 3:55, someone on Facebook actually said, they put out a tweet that either Fox did or the PGA did, that they'd be on at 3:55 or 4 o'clock to start the U.S. Open. So that's what aggravated me. Now, what aggravates me is those first 4 words. Okay? I get you're in New York. I get it. Or New York is the bigger one. I'm sorry, New York. You're playing in New Jersey. There's lots of things to do in New Jersey, maybe not as much as New York, but there's lots of things to do. And to slight us by saying New York first, my damn chair. I really need a new chair. So that's what aggravates me. The fact that, and it's going to be changed to New York, New Jersey Stadium. Apparently that's what they're doing with all the stadiums they're in. It doesn't matter what their stadium or what city they're in and what their stadium name is. But MetLife, for those 8 games, will be called New York, New Jersey Stadium. Now, like I said, they're also getting a final, which is a big thing. I don't think we've never had a final like this. And to be honest, I don't think America, I mean, maybe, I think there was something in 84, maybe LA, But, so here are the host cities. So you got Toronto and excuse. All right, Toronto and Vancouver. In Canada. Mexico, you got 3. Okay? Guadalajara, Mexico City, and Monterrey. U.S., we got more than a few. So this is all North America FIFA. Okay? We got Atlanta, Georgia, Boston, Massachusetts, Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, Kansas City, Missouri, Los Angeles, California, Miami, which that's going to be a big one down there, given what's going on down there in soccer. Like I said, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, the San Francisco Bay Area, and Seattle. All those cities are getting some type of host game, if not multiple. So, good for them. I mean, let me go on this New York site real quick. Hashtag we are New York, New Jersey. One of these days, New Jersey is going to get us to do. One of these days. Ready to grow the game once again. With hundreds of thousands of youth players in the region, New York and New Jersey grew the game from grassroots level, tremendously after hosting the 1994 FIFA World Cup USA. So we did host a game or two, it looked like back in 1994. And expects to do the same in 2026. New York, New Jersey has 3 professional football teams, NYCFC, New York Red Bulls, and the New Jersey. So we get one team, New Jersey, New York Gotham FC, and a huge youth football base that will only increase in both size and quality of play as interest in these teams grows. Football in the region has always been drawn, and I should say it like this, it's football. Football in the region has always been drawn large crowds. Highlights include Pele and the Cosmos in the 1970s, the 1994 World Cup USA, 7 matches including a quarterfinal and a semifinal match, the FIFA Women's World Cup in 1999, opening ceremonies in the USA's opening round match, and the CONCACAF, I think that's how you pronounce it, Gold Cup final in 2009, and also the Copa America Centenario final in 2016, which drew a record crowd of 82,026, which is probably the reason why we got the 2026 FIFA final. Host city. What does it say for host city? A taste of what's to come. So it's a video. Okay. I don't. 36 seconds. Of everything that's around. Football games, bridges, Staten Island, Bronx, Manhattan, Hoboken, Queens, Atlantic City. I don't know about New York, New Jersey. If you're about it, Atlantic City. Okay, that was an interesting video. Welcome to whoever's watching me. I do appreciate it. I've been dying, literally. I've got this bad cough, and my chair doesn't want to stay up. So, excuse me when you go back and watch, if you go back and watch. I do have some points that I made, in the past 20 minutes. Okay, so get to this one. So, what I was actually watching Fox for on Sunday, Kyle Troup won the 2024 PGA US Open. That is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Arguably the best bracket of PGA bowlers in PGA history. So this is how I went opening the championship bracket. Number 4, EJ Tackett defeated number 5, Bill O'Neill, 212 to 209. That was a great match. The first 2 matches were absolutely stellar matches. Then Kyle Troup defeats EJ Tackett 212 to 200. And EJ was winning most of that game. So Kyle Troup wins that. Then he goes on to face Jason Belmonte. Destroys Jason Belmonte. 229 to 157. Then takes on number 1, Anthony Simonson. And pretty much handles him up and one in the 9th to beat him 223 181. So final standings. This is how much professional bowlers make in a tournament like this. So 5th place, Bill O'Neill, $10,000 for this week. Not too shabby. EJ Tackett, $15,000. Not too shabby. Jason Belmonte ended up in 3rd, $25,000. Anthony Simonson, $15,000. And for the winner, Kyle Troup, a whopping $100,000 for this tournament. And it's his first win, first U.S. Open win, first PGA major title, if I'm correct, too. So Troup is one of our fans. We're big fans of him in this house. And if you don't know who Kyle Troup is, you got to get to know him. He's a great bowler, and he's a great, funny-looking bowler, and he knows it. And the things he does when he does bowl well, it's pretty interesting. All right. Let's talk a little football. That's not Super Bowl. So the New York Giants agreed to terms with Tennessee Titans DC Shane Bowen replacing Martindale, who left the Giants allegedly mutual. We also hired today Tim Kelly from the Titans as the new tight end coach. Apparently, he was the OC in Tennessee as well. Now he's a tight end coach. So, this is more on a personal level. But I think Kelly, weirdly enough, I know someone who's at Tim Kelly, and I actually busted on him. I took a screenshot and sent it to him. He's a Dolphins fan. I'm like, when did you become a tight end coach? He goes, huh, what? He goes, that's fun. He goes, I wish I could, but he would have done it for Miami. Anyway, so this happened. A day or two ago. NFL announced that the Philadelphia Eagles will be the designated team for the Brazil game in Sao Paulo. I think it's Paulo. I didn't know there were designated teams for international games. The more you know. Apparently, there's designated teams for London. There's Mexico City, Guadalajara, and now Germany. Go figure. Now we're going to Brazil. At least we're on it's in the right time zone. But, yeah, so the Eagles are going to go south for a week one, from what I understand. So I didn't even tell this to Beth yet. I don't think she knows. This is some very interesting stuff. Okay, last football one. This just came down today. Washington Commanders officially announced the hiring of Cliff Kingsbury as the new OC. Okay, so pretty much the entire NFC East we're talking about, so where is my boy? Why am I not seeing Brian Hawk? There he is. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little Yankees beat. Now, pitchers and catchers do report on February 14th. So that's 3 days after the Super Bowl. You know what's also February 14th? I think most people know one of them, at least, if not two. It's also Valentine's Day, which, for all intents and purposes, in my mind, it's a Hallmark holiday. But us men who have women, or anybody who has a partner, for that matter, you got to give what you got to give. I mean, that's Valentine's Day. Some people do, some people don't. But then also for practicing Catholics and non-practicing Catholics, it's Ash Wednesday. So guess what? Easter's early this year. Go figure. I keep falling again. Okay. So let's get to this report. So the Yankee equipment trucks have already rolled south down Interstate 95, set to deliver the equipment that Juan Soto, Alex Verdugo, and Marcus Stroman and the rest of the reworked roster will use to prepare this spring. While General Manager Brian Cashman remains open to upgrades that could make sense between now and opening day, there is a sense that the Bombers' offseason heavy lifting may be complete. Yet that person is Blake Snell. I don't care what you need to get him, what you need to give to get him. Other than the first slot in the pitching rotation, give him everything else. Blake Snell has proven it. You have Garrett Cole and Blake Snell at your 1-2 in the Yankee pitching order. You can smatter 3, 4, and 5. It doesn't really matter who it is, and you're going to get some decent guys. At least B level, if not C. Nobody else wants him. Or nobody else wants to pay him that money. If we go over a threshold, so be it. I digress, but the last thing I do, I want to do is cough again. All right. So, I mean, like I said, Ash Wednesday too. So, as a non-practicing Catholic, I'm going to have to try to get my butt into church. Maybe I go into work late. It could happen. Anyway, okay, let me get this up. Oh no, I'm still talking about this. I'm sorry. So that raises questions about whether they've done enough to address the areas of weakness. And now that the Orioles have acquired ace right-hander Corbin Burns from the Brewers on Thursday, exactly, that could be a little bit of a problem, according to saying Aaron Moon. Obviously, Burns is an amazing pitcher going to a great team. We'll see a lot of him and look forward to opportunity of competing against the best. You will. He's going to beat you more than you're going to beat him. I'm going to tell you right now. Boone needed no reminder that the Yanks last look at the 29-year-old right-hander who locked up with Garrett Cole with a dominant performance last September at Yankee Stadium. Imagine that. We already know how we played him in that game. Burns fired 8 hitless innings against Cole's 7 scoreless frames. A game decided by Kyle Higashioka's 13th inning double, securing a 4-3 Yankees victory. That's how you win games like that. You got to go toe-to-toe with that guy. We'll see what we can do with that. Oh, getting to what I said just now. Though the Yankees did extend a 6-year, $150 million offer to reigning National League Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell, that proposal was pulled in favor of a 2-year, $37 million agreement with Stroman in January. That doesn't mean you still can't get him. Because the rotation right now, as it appears, Cole, Stroman, Rodon, Cortez, Schmidt. Get Snell and move Schmidt to the back. Or go 6-man rotation. I'm okay with that 6-man rotation. I don't know if Garrett Cole would. But that's a fairly decent team, period. Rotation and all. You know, Jose Trevino even said on Stroman, he's got some good stuff. I talked to some catchers that have caught him. And just seeing what their take is, they've given me some good information. And I'm seeing what he likes to do. I think it's going to be a good little combo. And I agree. Stroman will probably be at least a good 2 or 3 if Snell's not here. If Snell's here, he's easily the 3. Austin Wells also said, who's looking to be either the first or the second catcher, that he's worked out with Stroman and at the Yankees Tampa complex, and he sees big things ahead of him. Other depth options at pitching: Clayton Beeter, Luis Gil, Cody Poteet, and Will Warren. Not looking forward to seeing those guys. But without I think we're going to be really good, Boone said. Yeah, well, that's obvious. But it's early February. We've got a long way to go, no duh. I'm excited about some of the depth that we've replenished, but also guys that are pushing up. I think that's going to be some of the people that surprised there, especially Carlos and Nestor coming off injury-riddled seasons. Carlos Rodon needs to show something. Because that trade, or not, we didn't trade for him. We signed him 6 years, $150. And this is year 2. So, all right. So I had something else. And since I got nobody on, I'm just going to do the Yankees. Where is it? Give me a second. There it is. The Athletics top 100 prospects. So, number 1 is shortstop from the Baltimore Orioles, Jackson Holliday. Number 2, Jackson Chourio, outfielder from the Brewers. Number 3, Ethan Salas, catcher from the Padres. I'll do 4 and 5, and then I'll look up for Yankees. So 4 and 5. 4 is Jordan Lawler. I've heard of him. Shortstop from the Arizona Diamondbacks. And then Junior Caminero, third baseman and infielder from the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, let's look at the Yankees. I'll look at the Mets too. I'll be nice. So we got 3. 1 is still hurt, and he might make it back by June. And we'll see if he even. I can see him going to AAA again just to start. Jason Dominguez, outfielder for the Yankees. He's going to be 21, 5'9", if he's not already 21. 188 bats. He's a switch hitter, which is good. We need a switch hitter. That's why he's probably a 5'2" player, even at 5'9". He's a pretty good center fielder. He's probably a better quality center fielder than Aaron Judge, but Aaron Judge does play center field pretty well. Now, Everson Pereira, another outfielder, 5'11", 190, bats right, throws right, age 23. He's probably trade bait. I don't see him making it. There's got to be a lot of injuries for him to see the Yankees in 2024. And then last, switch hitting shortstop, Roderick Arias. He's 19 years old, so he's probably in at least single A, if not double. But switch hitting shortstop could be interesting. You know, could he go to second, or could Volpe go to second and he goes to short? I'd be curious on that. So Roderick Arias, someone to watch for. All right, so let's go to the Mets. That'll be nice. Mets got 4, okay, in the top 100. Shortstop, Jet Williams, 5'6", right-handed, and bats right, shortstop, age 20. A little short. It reminds that height reminds me a lot of Rafael Santana back in the mid '80s. Luis Angel or Angel, Luis Angel. Oh, I know who this is. Shortstop that was traded with to the Mets last year. Acuna. He's the brother of the Braves Acuna. 5'8", 180. If he's the shortstop, he's probably gonna out everything Jet Williams. Right now he's 45 compared to Jet Williams' 30, but I think Acuna is gonna move up quick. And then I got another shortstop, Ronnie Mauricio, who's been up. But he's a switch hitter, so that's a plus. So if he can play multiple positions too. And then outfielder, 5'9", 23-year-old lefty, Drew Gilbert. So that's the prospects for the Mets and the Yankees. I ain't doing any more because there's nobody on here to tell me to do anymore. Oh, I was there we go. Okay, so that's that. So, okay, let me get rid of that. All right. So, let's do a little WWE. This week, SmackDown last week, and then Raw last night, and NXT right now. So what happened in SmackDown last Monday? Quickly, Kevin Owens vowed to continue to go after Logan Paul. Kevin Owens then defeated Austin Theory. Surprise, surprise. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate defeat Pretty Deadly, the LWO, and Legado del Fantasma in a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Qualifier match. And that they're going to face somebody else on the next SmackDown. But because I'll get that into Raw when I talk about Raw. So Bayley, and I'm glad this happened. Bayley shocked everybody, but it was kind of foreseen that she was going to face Io Sky to wrestle at WrestleMania, and not Rhea Ripley. So it came to be that the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky were talking, of course, in Japanese, and who's behind them and the door behind them as they're walking out? Bayley, who heard every word they said, whatever they said. You can see that she was a little upset, at least acting that she was a little upset. So as they come out with Nick Aldis, SmackDown, so it's Nick Aldis. And the other guy from Raw, he was there too, because he didn't know if it was going to be Rhea Ripley or Io. And he basically starts talking in Japanese, and it was brilliant. Good for Bayley. She kind of did an emotional ride, but it is what it is. So then Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits and the Final Testament never got underway in their match because Beef Bob from the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley attacked Scarlett from Final Testament. And Scarlett's cute. My God. And she's the wife of the leader of Final Testament. And my God, she is damn cute. What else happened? Oh, yeah. Tiffany Stratton newly signed to SmackDown, debuted and won her match against Nishin. And then lastly, Cody comes out to see Roman. And Cody talks and talks and talks. And since he had someone that he was helping him to make his decision, then all of a sudden I called this. You can ask Beth back on Friday. I knew there was something going on, and he came out. All of a sudden, you hear, if you smell what The Rock is cooking. So The Rock came out. And he stepped up to Roman Reigns, asked Cody to move, go back to the, I guess, locker room, and asked him to say, you wrestle Seth, and I'm going to wrestle. But he never actually said it. That's the kicker. I was staring for like 5 minutes. And then there's an after. It was staring. So, but it seems like that's going to happen. But we're going to get more clarification. I'll mention that in a little bit. All right. So that was SmackDown. Let's go to Raw. Well, let's see what happened on Raw this past Monday. Excuse me. So, Cody. Oh, no, that's the end. I want the beginning. Here we go. Results. That'll help. So, to start, Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins clashed in spite of Drew McIntyre. So, like I said, Cody comes out, and he's going to basically say he's going to wrestle Seth. But then Drew comes out, and he's like, I want to wrestle Seth. It becomes a real BITCH fight. Anyway, so that happened. That was on. DIY defeats the New Day, the Creed Brothers, and Imperium in a fatal four-way tag team match. And Imperium's tough. Those two guys are pretty tough. So are the Creed Brothers. And you can't put nothing against the New Day. But DIY held their own. They won the opportunity now to face Pete Dunne and Taylor Bate for the undisputed. So they're wrestling on Friday night and will earn their rights to challenge the undisputed tag team titles against the Judgment Day at the Elimination Chamber. So that's interesting. Now, next, and they kind of pump this up back and forth. So it was Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler to qualify for the Elimination Chamber match to go against Rhea Ripley at Elimination Chamber. Becky Lynch ends up winning, and it was a tough match for both. I mean, like, you could see Becky got her arm messed up pretty quickly, but she still was able to win the match against Shayna Baszler. Good for her. And then it was Ivar and Valhalla versus Akira Tozawa and Maxime Dupree. So basically, who is it? Something Norwegian Warriors? No, Viking Warriors. The Viking Warriors versus Alpha Academy. And Ivar and Valhalla actually won. Like, Valhalla, she's a little funky of a character, but Akira is no match for Ivar. Simply put, like, you needed more Chad Gable, not Akira Tozawa. And then there was this promo, I guess, of sorts, in a chaotic brawl between Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. Like, Nia Jax really wants her at that title shot. But now, so they're both going at each other. Rhea Ripley needs to understand that Nia Jax is no spring chicken. She knows how to fight. And that's going to be interesting. Now, this was the funny part. So, The Miz defeats JD McDonough from the Judgment Day, the new guy from Judgment Day. So, R-Truth comes out with a bunch of shirts that he spreads out to the crowd and goes out to the crowd. Now, somehow R-Truth has all this money and tries to give it to J.D. McDonough. Well, J.D. McDonough sees the money, takes it, puts it in his pocket, but that's where he gets distracted and loses the match. And it was apparently a ploy that it looks like Miz and R-Truth cooked up. So that was interesting. Now, there's supposed to be this, there was this 600-day congratulatory on me for Imperium and Gunther, but someone came out to crash the party. Main event, Jey Uso wants to be part of the next Intercontinental title match. I think he's got a good shot, at least to wrestle in it. Whether he wins or not is another story, but I think that he could do pretty well. The Kabuki Warriors defeat Katana Chance and Kaden Carter to retain. That was pretty lucky because that's a formidable team in Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. And then there was a match. Cody Rhodes defeated Shinsuke Nakamura in a bull rope match, but right after, Drew McIntyre comes out beating the crap out of Cody. And then Shinsuke gets up and he's helping to beat up Cody. And then it just came out today in a digital feed that after that what the hell is his name? Someone came out to help Cody. It was Sami Zayn. And after the match was over or off TV, Sami Zayn comes out and basically helps a bloodied Cody Rhodes. So I suspect we're going to see a tag team match on that end at some point. Okay, and then what's going on in NXT right now? Let's see. The big one is Carmelo Hayes to explain why he attacked Trick Williams at Vengeance Day. So that's the big one, is that Carmelo Hayes is explaining himself. Now, as far as I know, Carmelo Hayes is going to SmackDown, so we'll see on that. And then Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin to celebrate their Dusty Cup victory, but Braun Breaker is about to go to one or two of the two main hubs in either Raw or SmackDown. He's having his choice to pick who he's going to go to. Roxanne Perez to take on the Levites after a Vengeance Day loss, and then Riley Osborne to battle with Lexis King. So, and then what caused the Trick Williams Carmelo Hayes stuff is Ilya Dragunov faced off against Trick Williams in the NXT title match at Vengeance, and when Ilya won, Carmelo went nuts. So they're going to talk about that today, right now actually. So that's that. The next Elimination Chamber is next, and that's in Perth, Australia. So expect Rhea to win, but we'll see. It's an Elimination Chamber she's going to be in against 5 other women that really want that title. I've seen Elimination Chambers before. If they give it to her, great, but I think then she's going to be losing in WrestleMania, but that's just my opinion. That's that for now. So this Sunday, before I came home to watch the bowling, I was at my soon-to-be brother-in-law's house. We were visiting my soon-to-be father-in-law. So, and they're golfers over there, Colin. Colin's been on my podcast before. He's told me he probably can't watch. He doesn't watch on Tuesdays because he does play Dungeons and Dragons on Tuesday night with his kids. And to each their own. I understand. As if you watch later, I appreciate that. That's what I'm hoping for. So I'm not too much into golf, but this was an interesting story. So Wyndham Clark wasn't winning. He had a great third round to take it over. And because there was a lot of rain in California, they suspended play, and Wyndham Clark wins in 54 holes. And it's Pebble Beach. That's one of the bigger ones. So Yeah, that interesting stuff there. I will say, not too much to talk about, but very interesting stuff. Okay, so is that email? No, that's email. Okay, so this is happening. NASCAR's Clash at the Coliseum, a fun promo with a new format and mid-race performance by Machine Gun Kelly, amongst other facets of this race. So, is it a fun promo? I guess it tries to get the mainstream viewers in. It's not getting this one. I have no interest, especially with Machine Gun Kelly. I have no interest in listening to his music. It's just not my thing. But I do try to watch the Clash of the Coliseum. There is a little bit of drama, and sports and drama are actually fun to watch. But maybe in the past tense, I'll watch it. I don't think I'm going to watch it in the present tense because it's the weekend after the Super Bowl. So I'm sure there'll be something to do. I don't think I'll be doing that. I could be wrong. There might be something going on that I'm more interested in. All right, let's talk about this because this did happen. So we're going to down it a little bit. So King Charles III, diagnosed with cancer. All big prayers for him. That's cancer's not a anything to shake your foot at. It says he was diagnosed with a form of cancer according to Buckingham Palace. The type of cancer has not been revealed, although it is not prostate cancer, but he was discovered when he had treatment for an enlarged prostate. So, according to BBC, the king began regular treatments on Monday and postponed public duties during it. The monarch, he's 75, remains wholly positive about his treatment and looks forward to returning to full public duty as soon as possible. No further details are being shared on the stage of cancer or prognosis. Charles informed both of his sons personally about his diagnosis, and the Prince of Wales he said to be in regular contact with his father. The Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, who lives in the United States, spoke to his father and will be traveling to the UK to see him in the coming days. The king returned to London from Sandringham in Norfolk and on Monday morning, and the palace says he started treatment as an outpatient. Although he will pause his public events, the king will continue his constitutional role as head of state, including paperwork and private meetings. It is understood his weekly audiences with the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, will continue and will be in person unless doctors advise him to limit such contact. There is a constitution mechanism for when the head of state is unable to carry out official duties. In that circumstance, quote unquote, counselors of state can be appointed to stand in for the monarch. Interesting stuff, I gotta say. It's sad, but it's absolutely a thing. But it's something to pay attention to, especially since we just lost the Queen. And now, if you all know, you probably know, we lost two legends this past week. We lost the third last night. So, in their respective fields, Carl Weathers, I'll go one by one. Carl Weathers, I first knew him as Apollo Creed. And I saw Sylvester Stallone's, he put out a video thanking Carl for being the man he was, to be in his films. Carl did a lot of different films. Did a lot of different things. He still has a commercial out right now with Gronkowski for the Super Bowl. He died in his sleep. It's probably the best way to die. I'm not going to do a formal poll on that. That would be kind of weird. But, he died in his sleep. This was sometime last week, last Thursday, I believe, or Friday. Also now, and also remember Carl Weathers. I can't forget this. One of my favorite movies. Happy Gilmore. Thank you. Oh my God, I was about to say Billy Madison. That's not it. Happy Gilmore. He Stubbs. He had the hand. Iconic role for Carl Weathers. So you had two basic iconic roles for two different movies. And if I'm correct, he was also in one of these Star Wars shows. So we lost a great man there. Chita Rivera, one of the Latino community's greatest actresses of all time. She was up there, 91 years old, if I'm correct. And she's a sad loss for that community. I mean, she did die here. I was doing so good for like 20 minutes. But so Chita Rivera passed away at the age of 91. Then the last one, and I was playing his song before. My favorite of all his songs, Red Solo Cup by Toby Keith, had stomach cancer, died at the age of 62, way too young. He died last night. So my heart and condolences go to their families. This can't be easy for any of their families. They were iconic people in their families and to the world. So, on that note, all right, got a couple more things. That's it. Get it just under an hour. So, coming to Disney Plus and Hulu. Cannot wait for these. 2 of them are cartoons. So, I'm going to watch them with my kids. The Marvels coming out tomorrow. I heard it's not. I've heard a lot of bad things about this, but I don't care. I at least want to watch it, and I'm going to watch it. And 216, Life and Beth. Since I have things down, I could probably look this up. Tell you who's in it. Very interesting. And Beth. Comedy drama series. Amy Schumer, Michael Cera, Murray Hill, Michael Rappaport, Laura Benetti, and Kevin Kane. So they're going to be starring in this series called Life and Beth. Can't wait to see it. I actually just heard Laura Benetti on the Michael K show today. So she's a pretty good-looking woman. If you listen to the Michael K show, he was doting on her, calling her gorgeous, and that his wife doesn't care that he says that. That's interesting. But this is an Amy Schumer vehicle, and with Michael Cera, that ought to be funny. So I'm curious to watch this. So Life and Beth. Here's the IMDb. After an unexpected incident, Beth starts having flashbacks to her teen self and learns how she became who she is and who she wants to become. So Beth is played by Amy Schumer. Michael Cera plays John. Murray Hill plays Murray. Michael Rappaport plays Leonard. Laura Benetti plays Jane. And Kevin Kane plays Matt. I know it'll be interesting. Also coming out, Star Wars The Bad Batch. Which, if I'm correct, there's 3 cartoons, not 2. That's a cartoon. And then for the kids, Spidey Amazing Friends Web Spinners on 2/9. My kids this weekend, I'm sure they'll want to watch. And then 2/14. Star Wars, Young Jedi Adventures. I might watch this without my kids. That looks good. So, all right, let me get out of that Google. So, what to watch for after the Super Bowl? So, there's something called a lead out. Okay? And then each station, whether it be NBC, CBS, Fox, or ABC, whoever has the Super Bowl for that year has a lead out after the Super Bowl. So for the Super Bowl, CBS's lead out is the new TV show called Tracker. That's going to be an interesting watch. It's with the This Is Us character guy. He was in This Is Us. He was the youngest brother. Now, going back a few years, I'm curious, the other lead outs. So last year's Super Bowl was on Fox. Next Level Shelf was the lead out. 2 years ago, the Winter Olympics primetime show was on. Go figure. That was on NBC. In 2021, The Equalizer. Okay? In 2020, before COVID started, just before, February 2nd, 2020, Fox played The Masked Singer. And then it goes on. This Is Us was 2018, 24. Legacy was Fox in 2017. Brooklyn Nine-Nine and New Girl was 2014. 2012, The Voice. 2011 was Glee, and goes on Undercover Boss, The Office, House, Criminal Minds, Grey's Anatomy, The Simpsons, Survivor, bunch of different shows. Very interesting. Okay, last but not least, here is my pick. Drum roll. Here it is. My pick for Super Bowl 58. San Francisco in overtime, beating Kansas City 34-31. There it is, folks. Anybody who's got boxes, San Francisco 4, Kansas City 1. That's what I'm picking. Now, I know already I don't have those numbers in mind, so I'm crossing my fingers. Maybe I get something in between, but I think that's going to be the number. And if San Francisco wins, I get third place in my brackets. Yay me. All right, so next week will be a whole new week. We won't be talking about football that much, other than maybe a recap of the Super Bowl. We'll see what I do. Maybe a little Taylor Swift. All right. Adios, folks. Have a good week. Hopefully I'll stop coughing, and I'll talk to y'all later. Have a nice